Hey Luke, good morning. I just saw a book stand. I'm driving around on this island. We live on a big island right now. And there's lots of woods to explore. And lots of deers and stuff like that around. I was driving and I noticed this. A little book stand. Look at that. Let's go look. You never know, right? If you don't look. Let's just go see. I hear a big doggy though. I'm a little bit nervous about that. Because I don't know the doggies around here. Let's go see what they got. Let's see. No idea. Oh, there are some kids' books. I'm glad I got out. So look at this. Novel idea. And they put their own little bookshelf out here. Let's see what we got here. I can read Pinkalicious. Elephant cat. That's very interesting. I like those. I don't want to take too many. Let's see. And then there's more books here. What does this say? So this says book drop-off. Book exchange, bring one, take one. Okay. So I'm going to have to bring some books back here for sure. We're going to take Pinkalicious and Elephant Cat. And we'll come back. And if the other ones are here, we'll return these and maybe even donate some. Does that sound like a good idea? Alrighty. I'm so happy that people are so kind to do this because I didn't have any books to read you and I really want to read you a book. Isn't this nice of someone to do this? Very sweet. So Grandma's gonna pull over, read a book. I'm gonna do some painting. Let me show you some of the rocks I painted because Halloween is coming. Some of them are a little bit spooky. I made this, it's called a barn owl. That's a barn owl face. Because people here on this island, they love to give things. They love to paint rocks and leave them for people to find and be surprised. So sometimes while I'm learning and listening to things, I paint. This is a silly one. This is a Bigfoot foot. I don't know why, but Grandmama really likes Bigfoot a lot. So there's his foot. I'm going to leave that for someone to find and see what they say. Oh, I'm not finished with this one yet. This is a little bat that I'm painting on a rock. Ooh, I think you're going to like this one. This is a snake's head. What do you think? Imagine if you were walking and you saw this sticking out of a little bush. You might be scared, but it's not real. Does it look pretty real or no? I'm still learning how to do scale. These are called petroglyphs. When you are exploring around on big gigantic rocks, sometimes there are pictures that are scratched into the rocks that look like this, like the man with a bow and arrow, and he's chasing those deer. Or this is supposed to be a big whale, but when it has art in it like that, it's called tribal art. So it's a tribal whale. Anyways, those are a lot of big words. These are some of the petroglyphs that have been found around this island, and they are thousands of years old. Here's another tribal. Instead of a regular fish, this looks like a tribal fish. I don't know if you can tell. It's a fish, but he's got designs on him instead of looking real. All the indigenous people, which are the people who lived here before the pilgrims came, they were like the Indians that already lived here on the land. And this is the way they do art. And you might have seen people with tattoos that look kind of like this before. I almost forgot that I also did this eyeball. It's a rock, but it was so nice and round, I decided to turn it into an eyeball since Halloween is coming and people are going to like to find things that are a little spooky. What a beautiful drive. Look at that mountain. I'll take moments to remember. We just came to the end of the street and look at the beautiful horse out there. Just look at this beautiful place, and I'm going to go paint and write. What a blessing. I'm so thankful. All right, so let's see. Let's look at this book. So this one's Elephant Cat. That's a pretty cat. That's called a Siamese cat. When they look like that, they have that dark grayish black around their face and a white body and black ears and black feet, or dark gray. That's a Siamese cat. So this is Elephant Cat, and the author's name, the one who wrote it, is Nicola Bailey. Okay? So let's look at what it says. Oh, look at these really cool pictures on the first page. There's a pretty white kitty and another Siamese cat and a parrot and a blue crab. This is going to be an interesting book, I think. There's an elephant in the middle. Look at all those different kitties and a polar bear and a spider. Okay, we got to find out what this is about. All right. Okay, this says, if I were an elephant instead of a cat, look. Look at the little kitty. He's looking at a bunch of books on a bookshelf like we just found. If I was an elephant, I would walk through the forest with a herd of friends. Look at this. Look at that. See the mother elephant and the baby elephant, and I think I see a kitty cat right there. So if he's pretending he's an elephant so he can walk with the herd. See the other elephants in front? Look, way over here leading the line. Yes, when elephants are in groups, they're called a herd. Same thing with cows. If cows are in a group, it's called a herd of cows or a herd of horses. And it's different with different animals. When it's a bunch of birds, it's called a flock. Let's see. So what else would this little kitty do if he was an elephant? I would use my great strength to push logs about. Look at that, and look at him doing it. See the elephant using his big strong tusk? His trunk is behind the log and his tusks are kind of in front of it, and he's pushing the log. And look, the kitty's trying to do the same thing. If he was an elephant. He also says if he was an elephant, he would carry the prettiest seat on his back, because people do ride elephants, you know. And look at that elephant with the seat on his back, and it really is pretty. And look at the kitty saying, I want to give people rides. Look at what he used. Can you tell what he used for a seat? What a good idea. Now, if people were really tiny, or if this kitty was very big, that's an egg carton. And each little hole for an egg would be a seat for a person. What a good idea. Look at the egg carton and all the decorations he used to make that beautiful seat. Let's see what else. What else would this kitty do if he was an elephant? He said, I would have enormous ears for flapping. Let's see what those ears look like. Oh my goodness. It looks like he's trying to make some ears out of some fabric, some material, some cloth. Look at the scissors. He's trying to make his own ears. Aw, this kitty really wants to be an elephant, huh? He said, I would have an enormous trunk for trumpeting. You know what trumpeting is? It's making that loud. The elephants do. Remember the elephant sound? That's what trumpeting is, because there's an instrument called a trumpet. And when an elephant blows through his nose, it sounds just like that. Look at the kitty. Look at his little paws. He's holding up his little trumpet he made. Aw, I hope he gets a wish that he gets to be an elephant at least for a day. And if ever elephant bath time came, oh boy, there's a big piece of soap. What's going to happen with the elephant? Oh, look at that. Look at all of his friends. See the elephant trunks, the 3 of them? 1, 2, 3. And they're all spraying the water on him so he could have a bath. Which is kind of silly because kitties do not like water. But they did a good job on this book with the pictures. In books, pictures that they make are called illustrations. These are big words, but you'll hear them again later in life. I would quickly turn back into a cat again. Oh, so he knows he was just pretending. Oh, look at him on the shelf. What a sweet kitty. And that's the end of the book. Very interesting, right? What an interesting book. So let me ask you a question, Luke. If you could be an elephant right now for maybe a couple of hours, what would you want to do? Where would you want to be? Would you want to be on the beach as an elephant, or in the jungle, or maybe just in your own backyard right now so you could show everybody that you're an elephant? Would you give anyone a ride? Let me know. What kind of things would you do if you were an elephant? All right, let's go back to the next book. This one is called Pinkalicious Fishtastic. It looks like they're fishing. It looks like it's going to be fun. I love to go fishing. And I know you do too, Luke. And I can't wait to take you fishing again. We're going to catch something big. One day we'll go on a boat and I'll take you fishing and we'll catch something really big, okay? Let's see what kind of things Pinkalicious catches. So this is the author who wrote this book. Her name is Victoria Khan. See? By Victoria Khan. That's the author. And remember, the one who draws the pictures and paints the pictures is the illustrator. I felt a tug on my line. Peter and I were fishing. I caught something, I cheered. Look at, she says, I caught something, Peter. What could it be? I can almost hear that seagull in the waves. I reeled in my line. Get ready, I told Peter. Here comes the prettiest, pinkest fish in the... And I stopped short. Why did she stop short? What happened? Something was on my line, but it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't a fish. Ha ha ha, Peter laughed. You caught an old boot. Oh my goodness. There was a boot in the water and it got stuck on her hook. Does she look happy about that? I don't think so. What's going to happen next? Where are the fish? I asked. Then I felt a tug. This is it, I said. My Pinktastic catch. I reeled in a shell. Oh no, she really wants to catch a fish, but now she caught a shell. Oh dear. Suddenly, Peter's rod wiggled. I got something, he said. Oh, look at that. Look at his rod bending. I think he really did catch something. I feel like I hear the splashing. Peter pulled out a big fish. It had big eyes, crooked teeth, and sharp fins. Wow, Peter said, what an odd fish. He held the fish up to my face. He's excited. Look how happy he is that he caught that funny-looking fish. Does Pinkalicious look happy? I don't think so. She should be happy for Peter catching a fish, but I think she's thinking a little bit too much maybe about her own fish she wants to catch. I caught the best fish ever, Peter said. I jumped away. Ew, I said. More like the ugliest fish ever. I don't think it's that ugly. Maybe a little silly, but at least I caught a fish, Peter bragged. That wasn't nice. That is not a fish, I said. It's a monster. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. A monster fish, Peter said. Cool. He put the fish in a bucket of water. I'm going to take him home as a pet, he said. Oh boy, look at that. That's a funny looking fish. I think he's kind of cute though. We peeked inside the bucket. The monster fish's mouth was open. I think he's hungry, Peter said. He dumped the rest of our bait into the bucket. Do you know what bait is? Bait is what you put on the hook to make the fish want to bite the hook, right? A little worm or a little piece of bread. Hey, I yelled. How am I going to catch a pink-tastic fish without bait? Oops, Peter said. So, Peter dumped all the bait into the bucket. Now what are they going to fish with? That wasn't thinking, was it? Peter went to get more bait. I was alone with the monster fish. Yuck, I said. There goes Peter to get the bait. And there's Pink Delicious alone with the monster fish. What else did she say? The monster fish looked up. His eyes met mine. They were huge. They also looked a little sad. What do you think? What do you think, Luke? What do you think, Penny? Does the fish look a little bit sad? I think so too. I looked at the big ocean. I looked at the small little bucket. You don't like it in that tiny bucket, do you? I asked the fish. Look at that big, beautiful ocean that he could be free. And now he's stuck in a tiny bucket. I wonder if he was scared and wondering, am I going to have to stay here forever? The fish bumped into the side of the bucket. Ouch. He made a splash with his tail. Poor fishy, I said. I bet you want to go home. I bet he did too. Wouldn't it be so sad if you lived in a big, beautiful place and someone took you out and put you in a tiny, teeny place? I'll help you, I said. I put the monster fish back into the ocean. I don't think she asked Peter first. Here comes Peter. He doesn't look happy. Peter came running over. My monster fish, he yelled. What happened? But before I could respond, I heard a loud splash. Look how happy he is to be free. Splash! Look at the splash he's making. Uh-oh. I hope Peter can understand. The monster fish was diving through the waves. He looks happy now, I said. I guess he does, said Peter. I'm glad Peter has a good heart and he realized. Suddenly the fish blew some bubbles. It made a beautiful noise. It sounds like singing, I said. Look at that, the bubbles. They're popping and making music. That's neat. I would love to see a fish that blew bubbles and made music. The bubbly water droplets made an amazing melody. Whoosh, whoosh, fizz. Tink, tink, tink. The tune was so pretty, we couldn't help but hum along. Look at that. A dolphin and a school of pink fish swam over. So did a family of sea stars. They loved his song as much as we do. Look at that. It's a good thing they set him free. He was so happy. He made a song. And look at that. Pink dolphins and starfish. I mean, that's so neat. What a nice reward for doing the right thing and not capturing him and putting him in a tiny, teeny home forever when he was once free. More fish gathered to listen. They flapped and splashed their fins to the music. I watched the monster fish. He didn't look so ugly anymore. Look at that. Look at them. They're all dancing and splashing and making music with him. Look at that. I barely noticed his sharp fins or his big eyes. Your fish isn't beautiful because of how he looks, I told Peter. He's beautiful because of how he sounds. Aw, that's neat. They're all appreciating him, aren't they? They're very happy he's home. The monster fish spewed a fountain of water and sang a final note. He spewed it. That means he spit it way out. Then he jumped out of the ocean straight toward me. Look at that. Look at that big spray of water he's spewing out. The monster fish gave me a big wet kiss. I laughed. You're quite welcome, I said. He was so thankful, wasn't he, to be free? You might not be pink and pretty, I told the fish, but you are a magnificent fish. Look at that. He's magnificent. Look at him. And he is. And that's the story of Pinkalicious Fishtastic. That's a great story with great illustrations. I really like that author. I have a question for you though, Luke and Penny. Do you think that it is better to, if you wanted to have a pet fish, to go buy one from the pet store that's already in a little fish tank and then you can give it a nice, beautiful home, or to catch one from the ocean that was once free and he was free and then put him in a small place? You know what? I think it's best, any pet at all that you ever get, to, I almost call all pets rescues, because if you can get a pet from a cage from the store, then you're giving him a home when he was only in a little cage. But if somebody like wanted a dog and instead they went and caught a fox, that fox was once free and now he lost his beautiful first home, his family, and now to be stuck inside probably a small cage. So it's better never to take animals and creatures out from nature, from their happy homes, and then put them in a small place where they're stuck. It's kind of like being in jail, you know? So, but if you can help one that was already in a cage in the store and give it a better home and a bigger, pretty environment, that's nice, you know? I remember your mommy got the eggs, and those eggs were already in cages. Somebody already had those eggs for the caterpillars and the butterflies. Your mommy didn't go catch a butterfly and put it inside of a cage when it was once free and flying. She took one that never knew what it was like to fly when it was still just an egg, and she helped him hatch so that it could fly and be a butterfly. I think if I remember, that's what happened. I know sometimes those eggs don't hatch, but when they do, the person who hatches them lets them fly around, and many times they get a chance to go free outside when they weren't free before. So that's a really good story, right? Well, I hope you liked our reading, and tell me if you want me to do it again, okay? I love you so much. Penny, I love you. Kylie, I love you. Let her know. If she's sleeping and didn't get to watch this, please tell her that loves her too, okay? And I want you guys to all do a big famwich. Remember what a famwich is? It's when everybody comes together and hugs each other with a lot of love in your heart. Okay, love you. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day. Thanks for coming with me to the little bookstore and for reading 2 books with me. Bye-bye.